not pursue anymore new technology challenges. We would stop pursuing the dream of having faster, more resilient, more effective things around us. Imagine if we just say, what we have is enough. Let's stop by now. Let's content with what we have. What would happen to things around us, to other sciences around us? How would health become? What could happen to space research or quantum computing? What would happen if we would say that what we have is enough? Take a few short seconds to think on that. Well, I don't need to wait because for me it is an impossible thing to accept. Intrinsically, as a researcher, I look always for the next thing. I'm never content. Things might work pretty well, but it's something that we and I, and most likely all of us, feel that is out there, reachable. We can almost smell it. And that is the driver that makes us reach forward. This is what makes us bring the future for today. My name is Nuno Coelho, and I am Altran's 5G Lab Manager. And within the next seconds, I will explain you why did our company decided to create a 5G lab, and why do we think that this technology that is already rolling out, it's important to place now available for the world, for companies, for people to use. It's important to have the capability of going from the standard to the 5G. Our lab has the resources, secure environment, a resilient environment that enables companies to go from this normality that we have now to the future, because it's by anticipating what is next that we can now place and set the road to travel ahead. Altran 5G Lab was the result of all this. We can help our customers and many companies around the world to take the blueprints of what is the next thing they want to do and transform it, test it, roll out inside our lab, and then anticipate security issues, anticipate orchestration difficulties, anticipate normal day in, day out difficulties that companies have when they do the rollout of a technology. It's by using resources like ours that they can shorten the time of the go-to-market. This is one of the reasons that make our company invest millions and millions of dollars in this asset.
5G, the new era of connectivity. Faster connection, instant experience, smarter investments. The evolving technology brings endless possibilities, and the number of 5G connections worldwide is projected to grow to 1.1 billion by 2025. To keep up with the high velocity, companies must find ways to leverage 5G technology to differentiate with fast go-to-market strategies for new services and use cases enabled by 5G service platforms, microservices, edge computing, automation, and open source. Providers, operators, and industries need to support next-generation end-to-end networks with the best possible ROI. Altran and Capgemini are uniquely positioned to help you face those new challenges. We rely on more than 30,000 telco experts worldwide, of which 1/3 are dedicated to 5G and Edge. With over 100 active 5G projects, we're helping clients build advanced networking solutions that disruptively unlock incredible value through new applications, new business models, and new ecosystems today and tomorrow.
This this was not atomic. It took 5 extensive years to actually deliver this asset. Because an innovation process is not something fast. Well, it would be wonderful if it would be fast, but it's not fast. It takes time to understand what are the needs and deliver something mature. We listened our clients, we listened our partners, most of all, we listened our internal resources, our engineers, in what could be a perfect vision of a concrete asset to enable and potentiate 5G.
5G Lab. It's a dream come true, a dream that has started 5 years ago for Altran Portugal. Back in 2015 we decided that advanced networks would be one of the core areas that we needed to develop in Portugal.
When I started in 2019, the 5G Lab is a PowerPoint of 5 slides with a plan of the investment and initial design.
When the group decided that it was required to make an investment on a 5G lab, Portugal was a natural choice. Not only by its geographical position between America and India and in Europe, but moreover because of the capabilities and the track record of knowledge that has been done over these 5 years that enabled us to establish the lab here. So more or less a year and a half ago, we started with a sheet of paper, okay, a budget and a business plan, but we had to create something.
We have a dedicated team, we have specialized capabilities, we are open 24/7 and we are ready to onboard your project.
As you can see, it was a long and complex journey to travel. But before I introduce you Mário Saraiva, our technical lead, in his assignment to explain you how he built actually the lab, I would like to leave you with one last information. In this innovation process, one thing was important and was always in our mind: to do not burden nature. So I'm pleased to tell you that our lab is carbon neutral. So this is for us and was since the beginning one of the most important aspects. And that said, I'll let Mário Saraiva bring you along the journey that was building this asset. Thank you.
In the wake of our growing digital economy and data center industry that's continually challenged with staying ahead of the customer's IT and telco roadmaps, different companies have emerged to distinguish themselves with varying data center requirements. The evolving challenge, however, is how to efficiently build data centers for various types of users. But trust me, it's not easy at all. Primarily because we are one of the first 5G labs in the entire world and we couldn't mimic or search for any info anywhere on how to build such an high-end and state-of-the-art lab. But together, we were able to pull it off. One interesting fact, if you allow me to share. A couple of years ago, I saw a motivation speech from Denzel Washington. And he said that there is an old IQ test that was 9 dots. And you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. And the only way to do it is to go outside the box. And that is what our company requested and allowed us to do. Think and go outside the box. We didn't perform average, neither standard. We collect all our expertise across the team and together we did it. It was on 10th of February of 2020 that I joined this amazing company. And together with Bruno Gonçalves, the man behind the reason that I'm here today, we took a trip to Fundao, the location of the lab. And when we arrived there, the first look that I saw, it was a room full of boxes. 3 months later, we had a complete functional lab ready to accept and onboard every single challenge. During that time, we were able to assemble a safe box, ready to maintain the integrity of the lab, even if a case of a earthquake, and the top-of-the-line AVAC system, eco-friendly, since we took advantage of the Fundao weather in order to climatize the lab almost without electricity resources, and the fire extinguisher system, particularly made for this kind of environments. On top of that, we assemble a large amount of racks to onboard the best servers and network hardware of the market, to have a fully segregated and functional hardware cluster. In the cybersecurity field, our main concern was to have a fully closed and air-gapped environment, secured in terms of perimeter and from our redundant firewall system, passing through the complete segregation of the networks for every single service, until the segregation of the system and solutions using containerization. Service providers worldwide are transforming themselves into digital telecommunications companies. These transformations aim to build more agile, flexible, and efficient infrastructures, enabling service providers to develop new services easily and effectively. With the fervent rise of the 5G as one of the key components of the fourth industrial revolution, or Industry 4.0, service providers are competing to be the primary driver of network transformation and service revolution. Therefore, it is imperative for providers to transform their services infrastructures to meet 5G requirements, including high data rate, ultra-low latency, and massive machine-type communication. Cloud-native architecture will be key to meeting these requirements. In 5G, most components will be decomposed and virtualized. 5G packet core, it will be decomposed into user plane function, the UPF, and control plane function, the CPF. The UPFs are to be distributed to edge locations, so that the service providers may reduce latency and offload traffic in edge nodes. 5G new radio will be disaggregated into software and hardware. The radio access network, RAN, can now be virtualized on come-off-the-shelf, the code servers, hence the name Virtual RAN, the vRAN that everybody knows. The nature of telco services has transformed itself from a traditional and monolithic platform into a rich and distributed services. Modern telco data centers no longer provide only connectivity, but also a wide variety of applications that needs an on-demand network based on intent, multi-tier, and a multi-tenant application environment that meets specific requirements for availability, scalability, security, and performance. In addition, continuous sophisticated monitoring, troubleshooting, and adjustments are necessary to help guarantee service levels in an environment where dynamic telco application demands and characteristics are needed for mobile operators to cover these various requirements. The current traditional data center is positioned as a centralized collection of servers, storage, network devices, and applications running independently. The modern telco application requires data center capability of accommodating distributed architecture, workload interoperability with the network function, along with their management, service lifecycle speed and agility, analytics, and assurance. It must also accommodate specific network requirements across different locations. And why our company decided to invest so much time, effort, and money in this kind of asset? First of all, I'm fortunately lucky to work in a company that is passionate about technology. And since the beginning, we positioned ourselves to be in the top of each market requisite. In this case, the role of the data center is becoming increasingly critical to the telecommunications industry. All over the world, the services that telcos are required to provide are changing in terms of both scope and technical complexity. The amount of global data and voice traffic has risen steeply in the last decade. In the first quarter of 2020 alone, more than 45 exabytes of data and voice traffic passed through telco networks. To put that in perspective, an exabyte is equivalent to a 250,000-year-long Microsoft Teams call. It's actually been estimated that 5 exabytes is about the data equivalent of every single word ever uttered out loud in all of human history. The 45 exabytes of data transmitted across telco networks in the first quarter of the last year, it's an almost inconceivable large figure, compared with the 1 exabyte transmitted in the first quarter of 2010. And we should start to get an idea of the sheer scale of this growth. This trend shows no sign of slowing down. either with ongoing 5G deployments and the ever-expanding Internet of Things. And here we want to play a key role. We have the experts, the bare metal, and all the infrastructure ready to help every single company in the world to onboard this new range of challenge and accept that the 5G is extremely needed for the future of every single company. And you should ask, how could you do it? And I'm here to answer that for sure. As I said, despite all the infrastructure behind, we were able to deploy the best software and solutions for each vital part of the lab. And I have to thank Microsoft for that, since we have an entire cluster of Windows Server 2019 data center which provide us the DHCP and DNS server, as well the Active Directory, the multi-factor authentication, Power Apps and Power Automate in order to automatize processes. We have as well Kubernetes and Dockers for the deployment of applications, since the need to deploy the applications from one computing environment to another quickly and easily has become a critical part for enterprise business requirements and DevOps teams' daily workflow. You can find in 5G Lab as well the artificial intelligence to improve all our capabilities such as cybersecurity. And for these purposes, AI can learn normal network behavior and detect cyber threats based on deviation from that behavior. Additionally, the utilization of AI in our environment can detect malware and identify security loopholes in all of our systems. Additionally, AI-based cybersecurity can screen and analyze incoming and outgoing data for security threats thoroughly. And with that, we can for sure help our customers with the same bottlenecks.
5G, the new era of connectivity. Faster connection, instant experience, smarter investments. 5G is the ultimate revolution on connectivity and a step up on what we have today and will impact the way humans interact with each other in each stage of our lives. From the infant to the elder, this virtually instantaneous communication will open a new world of possibilities. Cloud, video, and speed connections. Even before one is born, 5G can help in assessing pre-birth consultations, from waiting 2 hours for a 2-minute appointment to remote instant HD connection with a doctor anywhere in the world, with the controlled production of clothing and equipment specific to the age and features of the child. As age progresses during infancy, 5G will allow parents to monitor the safety and well-being, accessing real-time data of their kids as they leave the house to school, at the mall, or at the beach right through the smartphone with 1 millisecond latency. In adolescence, 5G technology can support by ensuring speed and seamless streaming connection on online learning classes or high-end AAA gaming capabilities that allows someone to start a game on the laptop that will be stored in the cloud and end in the smartphone. Fan of music? Imagine attending a live festival played by a hologram, where thousands of people can access, film, and communicate through their smartphone without losing network signal. Right down to college, 5G will allow students to download a 4K in less than 10 seconds and boost VR remote learning capabilities, where one will be able to experiment advanced training in virtual scenarios with a technology that is expected to reach VR 40 million equipments in 2023. Flying to the adult age, 5G will allow 1,000 times more capacity, which means more connected devices and users, as improvements in self-driving cars and the revolution of IoT, Internet of Things. IoT is a massive machine-to-machine communication, where there are connections between devices without human intervention. This means lights or any electronic devices can speak with each other, understanding the patterns and customizing the experience of each user. Today, IoT consists of around 25 billion devices that will triple by 2025. Emergency? 5G will increase drone capacity to monitor and broadcast real-time information that can be used in fighting a fire or assist in case of an emergency. Also, in case of medical emergencies at a later stage of our lives, 5G will be able to augment the power of medical devices like pacemakers, prostheses, and data sensors that can be monitored in real time by a doctor anywhere in the world and at any time, ensuring the right medical treatment and follow-up. 5G will transform lives, our generations, connecting everyone and everything together. 5G, the new era of connectivity. Faster connection, instant experience, smarter investments. Ready to connect?
Previously to this presentation, I received from the audience 3 questions. The number one is, how do I see the 5G ecosystem evolving? So we will evolve side by side with industry. So this is the main driver. That's why we created this asset. It will be industry itself that will launch us the ideas that they want to take out from the scratch to the concrete world. So I see this naturally evolving. I see the 5G ecosystem really enabling us to perform heart surgery across the world, collecting real world data, and for instance, as computing drones above a forest, capture in real time a fire hazard and reply to the headquarters the concrete response that they need to provide, instead of the full amount of resources, just send out the required one. I see that communications and telco companies will perform better services to their customers. I see the possibility of making fast download, of having high peaks of communication. I see this technology really moving us to the gigabit era. This is not something like a fairy tale, it's something that we have now. It's the possibility of giving to the people real and concrete technology assets. And this is how I see the 5G ecosystem in the nearby future. The second question was, what comes next in terms of technology? So what comes next, I would place it within the 5G technology, is the challenge itself of picking up all the use cases that we have in technology nowadays and transform it into the 5G era. So we have smart televisions, intelligent pacemakers that connect to the web cameras everywhere, surveillance cameras, fridges that buy food for us. And this is yet to be containered in a secure environment. So in my perspective, what comes next is something that will enable to leap forward these use cases, enabling them to be used in a secured way. That's why also the 5G ecosystem is important. We have it now on the standard, on the LTE and other types of network solutions, but it's important as we connect everything around us, as everything around us is connected, let's say that way, to be in a proper way, in a secure way. So in my opinion, what comes next in terms of technology is to pick up all the use cases around us and delivering it in a secure manner. The third question is, what is the challenges that this asset will face in the future? I understood this question as what is the roadmap, what is the future of the use of this asset? So, like everything in technology, when we start to use it, we learn by using it, we mature the idea. So I would say the next step of every type of 5G lab is to understand how can we optimize our daily routines and our daily use of technology. Having these high computational centers allows us to question within a scientific proper way things that surround us. So I see the future of this asset being used in a way that could help us to reach, for instance, the 6G with something that it will not be that far away. But most important, how can we support human activity based on technology? How can artificial intelligence help us, and how can that be put into our lives in a fast and efficient way? And this all requires communication. All of these requires a concrete road to travel. All of these requires a significant amount of security. And why not using the 5G lab or the 5G ecosystem to do this? It's the fastest and most secure way of putting technology in the service of humanity.
As Bill Gates said, stay positive, work hard, and make it happen.
I hope to see you next time.